Okay, we'll call the meeting to order at 6:10. And our first order of business is to approve the minutes of December 19th, the regular select board meeting.
I make a motion to approve the minutes of the December 19th select board meeting.
Second.
Okay, discussion. Okay, no,
Did Katie second it?
first,
Yeah.
second.
Okay.
And because there's no discussion, we will vote on approving the minutes. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All those
Aye.
opposed? Okay, the ayes have
So
it.
that's 3-0-1.
Yep.
Okay.
And then additions and deletions, we have 2 correspondence that we'll take care of after our executive session, and a town hall use policy that we'll take care of with new business. And we have 0 members of the public, so I make a motion that we go into executive session for personnel VSA 313(3).
Second.
Okay, so all those in favor of the executive session?
Aye.
Aye. Okay,
Sure we're voting?
I don't.
Yes. Aye.
Okay, so that's 3, are you voting on this?
I
one?
did.
So it's 4-0-0.
Okay, everybody, we're back from executive session. We're reconvening at 6:25.
Yeah, recording, yeah.
And we have made a decision.
Yes, I would like to make a motion to increase the, or to add to the budget an increase to the select board assistant position from a 20-hour position to a 30-hour position.
And that's good.
I'll second.
Okay, any further discussion in our public session?
Payment on the highway.
We're gonna just adjust the budget for that.
Mhm.
So I think we've discussed enough. All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Okay, sure. Okay, then we will move on to correspondence.
I'm sorry, did Katie second it?
Yep. Aye.
Oh, I seconded it, aye, yes.
We have 2 emails. One, well, we actually have 3 emails, but 2 from residents. One from Ransom Foreman and one from Susan Hunt. And then we have one from an ethics liaison. And in the interest of time and understanding the emails, I would say that we can read them and address them on 128, if everybody's in favor of that. So we would basically pass over them now, but have them on the agenda for our next regularly scheduled meeting. Is everybody okay with that? Or we just-
The only problem with that is now we're up to the 3rd warning, or a 3rd message over this that should have been dealt with before the 1st of the year. So it needs to be dealt with. If you're going to put it off till the 28th, that's got to be the absolute last one.
What I had,
Because we are in violation of the law at this point as written. So
Sure, with Katie.
go ahead, Kate.
oh, sorry. What I had suggested was that we acknowledge the, that we received the correspondence tonight, and I don't mind reading what the gist of what it's about, and then that would give us until the 28th to make that appointment, and then we could announce that appointment on the 28th. Does that make sense?
I can agree with that. It's just it honestly, it cannot go past the 28th.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Okay, so I'll just acknowledge that we've received correspondence from the Vermont State Ethics Commission that each municipality acting through its legislative body shall designate an employee as its liaison to the State Ethics Commission. So we're going to come up with some different candidates of appointment, I guess, between now and the 28th, and then on the 28th, on that agenda, you'll see that we will make that appointment on that day to acknowledge this and make sure that we get this done. The law went into effect on January 1st, and I think we need to figure this all out before February, so we're gonna do it as quickly as we can.
Okay, and then we will look at the 2 emails from Foreman and Hunt, and we will address them as a board on the 28th as well. So then we go on to the warrants.
Did we read them?
Sure.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah, sure. I'd like to make a motion to pay the warrants. Number 1, payroll in the amount of $14,496.80. Number 2, payroll taxes in the amount of $6,770.11. Number 3, general fund in the amount of $186.65. Number 4, general fund in the amount of $238.35. Number 5, highway in the amount of $374.89. Number 6, general in the amount of $23,226.66. Number 7, highway equipment in the amount of $65,261.69 for a total of $110,555.15.
Seconded.
So, discussion? All those in favor of accepting the warrants?
Aye.
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 Okay, then highway report. Jeremy?
Not really much to report, just waiting on snow. Been pretty minimal this year so far.
Well, these last couple of snowstorms where they're 2 inches, but you still have to plow and sand have been very frustrating.
Yes, and it's, unfortunately they're coming on holidays and weekends, so
Yeah.
not a whole lot I can do about that, so,
Well, thank you for your hard work.
thank you.
Okay, treasurer report. I don't have a report other than the bank statement that says that we have $699,098.26 in the investment account and $30,000 in the swing account. We have been asking the treasurer to give us a more detailed report with some anecdotes of what's going on, etc., but that did not come today. So then we go on to the town clerk's report for the last 2 weeks in December. We took in $1,660 even. And then chair report. I think the only thing I have to report is that we have been working like crazy on the budget, and I think my report will be reflected in us looking at the budget. So I think I'll proceed from there. Old business, vote on the town budget. We have talked about entertaining the idea of passing this over until Monday at 3 p.m., January 20th, so that we have time to put our hands on the figures and make sure that they're correct, and Connie has a backup as far as all the hard work she's doing. So that's what we plan to do if everybody agrees on that.
Have a special select boards meeting Monday at 3 o'clock?
Yes.
I won't be able to attend or see that. I'll be in surgery.
Oh, no.
So I would like to see the end figures based on the town warning. There's a lot of questions I have.
Sure, but I can also send you stuff, hopefully maybe, Sunday, Monday, before we go into the meeting too. Well, Monday you're in surgery. I'll try to send you any documents we get as we get them along.
We'll keep you up to abreast, and good luck with your surgery.
Thank you.
Then the next old business is to review initial draft of the warning. And
Which I think we can still do because you just
yeah,
haven't
did you
done
want your
it.
name changed here to Katie instead of Catherine?
I mean, I think it should be because most people know me that
Right.
way. I mean, Catherine is my name.
Right, well, Aline's mine. So, okay, I don't know how we want to do this, other than look at it.
I think you should point out some new stuff.
Okay. We, number 3 kind of snuck in there. Shall the voters authorize the treasurer pursuant to the VSA to collect the current taxes? And, because there was a conversation about who was the tax collector and who was bonded and insured to collect taxes. And we thought it was better to do it this way.
If I may just add,
Sure?
we were also advised in conversation with VLCT that in order to authorize the treasurer to determine who's the current tax collector, it's either the town treasurer or the town manager, which we don't have a town manager. And if it's neither of those, then it defaults to the constable.
Correct.
So in this case, we added this article to specifically make sure that we are authorizing our treasurer in that regard.
Correct. And then what used to be number 3 becomes number 4, and it's the same, same wording really. We did add the salaries back in. And then Article 5 is,
Ally,
Yeah.
can you hold up a second?
On 4, the salaries for the town clerk and the town treasurer are in their budget. And town meeting members last year voted to remove that from this article. So you're going to need their authorization this year to put it in the following year's budget. The problem that you run into with doing this, and I know there was some argument about it, but I honestly don't care what they had to say about it with the argument. The town auditor and VLCT and let's see, there was one other person that I spoke with, but I can't remember who it was right at this present time. I specifically put the situation to them that if we have a special article, which in this case is Article 4, and you approve that amount of money, okay, when you move to the general fund budget and you see that same figure under a salary for a clerk or a treasurer, you are now approving it again. And that's a problem, because what is happening to that money? And now you can have the belief, I would say, that a few of them had there, one in particular, that that doesn't matter. But when you put it before a body to vote on, you are voting that thing twice. So if you're going to change that around, you're going to need the approval of town meeting to do that, so you're not double dipping.
oh, Connie, go ahead.
So Sherwood raises a good point, which is if you vote on it as an article, but you also have it in the budget, is it a 2 budget number? Should it be? So Sherwood, if the wording were changed to say something about, if we were to add verbiage that basically says it's one budgetary item, would that be helpful? Because I think what people were raising is they want to be able to very directly see how much these elected positions are making and not have to dig through a budget. They want it right up in front, but if we don't want to run the risk of appearing to be budgeting twice for it, is there wording that we can add?
Well, something like we're voting to pay them these salaries which are raised in
Or reflected in the
their
budget?
budgets.
Something like it are reflected in the budget? I'm just wondering if there's wording that we can put in.
Can we keep the money here and say that we're only authorizing the amount of pay? And then,
I still think what you're going to have to do, because it was a vote in which the town members at town meeting voted to remove that and be seen in the budget that you're going to need the town at town meeting to vote that the way that is.
So you think it's just neater and cleaner just to take it out?
Yeah.
Basically, they can look. It's not that hard to find town clerk's salary.
Well, the only thing is, like, when I was looking for treasurer salaries through the years, it was so easy just to open up the town reports and go boom, boom, boom from this page.
Yeah.
It really was a handy,
I think if you want to do that, you just are going to have to explain to the town meeting, to the members at town meeting, and have them revote on it. There's nothing wrong with doing that.
as part of this article.
Yep. Just simply say that in past years, this is how it was reflected. Last year it was changed, and through feedback or whatever, I don't know how you're going to word all of this, but through feedback, we are recommending that this to go forward in the next budget.
Okay.
I mean, that's a lot of that's a lot of verbiage.
We can't write a whole paragraph for an article, but we can also ask the league for an opinion.
Or the moderator.
Yeah. Okay.
I do think we should ask the moderator.
Okay.
The other question I have on this same article is, I see chair 1,500, vice chair 1,200, and members 1,000.
I think it was supposed to be 1,200 for everybody. I think that's a typo.
Is that, okay?
All right.
So 1,200 times 4, right?
Right. I think we can eliminate the vice chair, turn the 3 into a 4 for members, and everybody's 1,200.
Okay. So 1,200 times 4. All right,
Right.
we'll put that total in.
We did discuss this last year, and I think that's probably where it came from, is having that kind of a delineation, but it didn't seem fair for everybody in the scheme of things.
So, okay, and
So that's
then...
$4,800? Just so we're clear, I'm putting that number in
Mhm,
for the 4 other members.
correct.
Okay.
And then casual labor is the 1798, which is the 2.5% increase. And then the terms, we did add the W-Red, or whatever it's called. And that's a new one, but, okay. And then Article 6. Is there any question about that one?
That's pretty traditional language, right?
Yeah. Article 7, we've changed the dates, so we'd like everybody to kind of glance over them and make sure we're correct. And that,
These dates come from the tax collector and the financial office assistant. It comes from the treasurer and the financial
didn't we say we
office.
didn't want a 0.5%?
No, this is what I came up with. You and
Yeah,
if you
yeah,
do this, we do that. I think
Yeah.
I said.
okay,
Are we good on that article
I think so.
then? So then, just really quickly, the next articles are all numbered off.
You're right.
It's
Okay.
7, oh, and then you got 7 again,
I'll go
8,
into it.
9, the girl who loves Roman numerals.
You know what's going on about that. I still love them.
Is it my am I seeing quite an inflation in the library budget?
You got that right. I hope we have some good conversation about that at town meeting.
What is it this year? 50? It's not important. It's not important. It just seems like that number is awful high.
It is, and I compared it to, how many years ago, Nick? 5 years ago? And it's gone up like crazy. And we had some arm wrestling over the budget because we offered the 2.5 like everybody else got for the employee, and they were not happy, and finally they said fine with us. So, article number 8, to be changed from Roman numeral 7 to 8, and then it goes all the way down through 20, so we don't have to talk about that again. And to see if the town will vote to appropriate blank to be raised in taxes, blank. 9, do we need to do all of these or just quickly look at them?
No, you have to read them out.
Then number 9 is to see if the town will vote to appropriate blank to pay for the running expenses and liability of maintaining the town's roads, of which blank will be raised in taxes. 10, to see if the town will vote to raise, is this a figure or just that should be blank?
No,
That's the right figure?
That's based on
Okay,
the
that's the
proposed
newest
budget.
one. $77,850 by taxation for the running expenses of the library. 11, to see if the town will raise $2,100 by taxation for the old cemetery fund. 12, to see if the town will vote to establish a highway reserve fund to be used for highway infrastructure as well as the purchase, current and future leasing and repair of highway equipment in accordance with 24 VSA 22804. Question mark?
I think they all
Yeah,
have
yeah,
their
yeah. I thought you were questioning that number. Number 13, to
Can I just
see.
make a layout
Sure.
edit, just to copy over the symbol for the section header for the VSA, for the statute.
This
I
That's
little,
the wrong symbol.
Well, I can't find the right symbol.
You have it earlier, so I would just copy it earlier in the document and paste it.
And really right there with that statute
right
is,
here, it's the correct one.
that statute number has to do
Well, I don't
with
know where to
creating
find
a
it.
reserve
Well,
fund.
what he's saying is take
So-
it and copy it from there.
Just little nitpicks, that's all.
All right,
I can help.
where are we? 13,
Yeah.
to see if the town will raise by taxation and appropriate $500,000 to the highway reserve fund.
I just heard a collective all over town. $500,000 for what?
Have a discussion.
Some idea for what?
Do you want me to fill that in, or do you want to do that?
Is that a real question or just a,
He's asking.
No, it's a real question.
okay.
I mean, that's going to be a huge debate.
All right. Well, so 200,000 of that is because we received a reimbursement grant for $200,000 for Bridge 43 repair. That's going to cost total somewhere around $400,000. So and 200,000 of that we will be reimbursed. And so we hoped to raise some of that through this highway reserve fund. Also in that $500,000, we were hoping to pay for the 2 current leases that we have.
Discussion.
And that comes out somewhere around $123,000.
Yeah.
$125,000, and then that would leave the rest to be built upon for these different infrastructure projects, because we've got a lot of bridges coming up that we're going to need.
For equipment.
For different equipment projects and things like that, and we're hoping to save towards these different bridges and other infrastructure projects that we're going to need in the future that we're well aware of. So we have a visual aid that explains our equipment and its lifespan and what fiscal year we hope to make these purchases. And we've also been getting some feedback from the different vendors of this equipment that they're 2 years out or several years out from just shortages of the equipment. So we're hoping to set these goals within the highway and then fund them over time with the highway reserve fund while still replenishing.
So just to summarize, 200,000 raised fiscal year 26, 200,000 raised fiscal year 27 for the repair of Bridge 43 on West Hill Road, of which by the time that's completed in fiscal year 27, we will receive we already have $200, but we'll get reimbursed $200,000. So the bridge, instead of costing us $400,000, will cost us $200,000, but we need to raise the money for infrastructure. That leaves $300,000 that we're asking to raise. $125,000 of that $300,000, we want to have a discussion about the 2 leases for the grader and the backhoe, because we weren't able to do that at the town meeting last year. So for fiscal year 26, that would be a special article, which is to confirm that we are doing 2 leases for those major pieces of equipment. So that leaves about $175,000 out of the $300,000 that would actually go into a reserve to prepare for replacement of major equipment in the future.
Okay, that sounds good, but wouldn't it be clearer to state under the previous article that you're putting in what those infrastructure costs are projected at, and then have the
We're gonna have a pre.
vehicles or equipment in its own, because seeing that number, all they're going to do, no matter what visual aids you have, are going to say, what? But if you spell out in the previous, which is what it sounds like, the previous article for infrastructure, what money you're going to need for infrastructure, and then this one, what money you're going to need for capital improvement.
We had that discussion about, do we create 2 different reserves?
Articles.
And Nemrick really encouraged us, if I remember correctly, to have one highway reserve fund that can cover multiple purposes.
And then
And
raise the money.
so I did some research and went into the VLCT model for creating reserve funds and the language that they use, because we were going back and forth on how do we actually establish the reserve fund. Since last year we did not have the right language to establish the reserve fund. We basically saved the money for a year, but we did not establish the fund.
Yeah.
So I went into the VLCT language and I found that they allow 2 different ways you can do it. You can establish the fund and then you can have a separate article to fund it, basically, or you can put it all in one. And we were struggling with trying to decide if we give some kind of separate piece of information that explains this is where, that allocates the money, or if we create like separate from the language of the article, or if we put it into the article. And then on top of that, we were struggling with the wording of also funding the article within that same, funding the reserve within that same article, because it just sounded like several articles bashed into one. I still feel comfortable with one article to create or to establish the highway reserve, and one to fund it. But I do see that maybe we need to somehow put the language back in on these allocations to clear up the confusion
Sticker
around
shock.
it ahead of time, so that we're not creating an uproar only to explain after.
So essentially, are you saying within that separate article that is to fund it, we would say raise 500,000, 300,000 for capital equipment and 200,000 for infrastructure projects?
I think so. I think that's what we should do.
I think you'd be better spelling it out that way. More language is better under this circumstance than to just plop a figure that's $500,000 out there and it won't pass. Guaranteed, won't pass.
Okay, Article 14, to see if the town will vote to move the remainder of the funds allocated in FY 2025 for new highway equipment into the Highway Reserve Fund. 15, to see if the town will vote to raise $20,000 by taxation to be placed in the fire truck capital fund toward a future pumper. 16, to see if the town will vote to raise $10,000 by taxation to be placed in the fire pond reserve account toward a future fire pond or maintenance of the existing fire ponds. 17, to see if the town will vote to raise $22,388 by taxation for the support of social service as recommended by the Social Service Committee. To see if the town will vote to maintain the current trash collection system with the following modifications. Institute an annual charge of $100 for the transfer station hang tag and to charge $4 per town trash bag. 19, to see if the town will vote to authorize the select board to acquire land by gift or purchase from municipal forest to promote reforestation, water conservation, and good forestry practices. 20, to transact any other non-binding business to properly come before said meeting. And I think we should
You have to
change it to the 28th, or can we do it on Monday?
Monday, has to be Monday.
Okay, so we'll do it Monday. And then this was a question, am I gonna be the only one signing it on behalf of the board? And if so, then we would need a motion now,
We
or
would do that now.
will the three of us sign it on Monday? And
I think you should do it, make sure we're here to
okay.
decide which way you want to do it.
Did you understand that question, Sherwood?
But we can't pass this
Yep.
document as is. We would just be.
You would just be
Authorizing
saying that I
the-
could sign.
Okay.
I think you're going to have to, and I may be wrong with this. During COVID, the signature by one party, even into the second year of COVID, was fine. But I believe you're going to have a quorum to actually physically sign the document.
So basically then you're saying take out on behalf of the Townshend Select Board and just put my name in with the rest of the select people and then we sign it?
Correct.
Okay.
So that's what it was, except I can't format it all into 2 pages. So I will try to do that, but your name here wasn't meant to be signing on behalf, it's just I couldn't fit.
Oh, well, we're gonna have to expand
Yeah.
8 or 13.
I really want to keep it to 2 pages for the town report.
Make the text smaller.
Yes, I'll reduce the.
We gotta make Connie happy, everybody.
There's one question that I have out of that, and you were on a roll, Ally, so I didn't want to
Okay.
stop you. But the trash thing, the hang tag,
Uh-huh.
purpose. What's the purpose of collecting
To try to
taxation on top of taxation?
Offset cost.
offset the cost.
Okay.
We had a trash committee and the trash committee said to get rid of the transfer station totally, and
The select board didn't do.
the select board did not quite concur with that. And this will bring it to a head, and we're already paying twice for yeah.
So my understanding is that the transfer station costs us around $100,000 a year, except we collect $30,000 in trash bag revenue. So it brings it down to the 70 or 80. I can't remember the numbers exactly off the top of my head. So the trash committee made a recommendation that the select board did not go with. Then the budget committee that has been meeting came up with this alternative, which is to stay with the current system, but to try to raise more revenue to offset the cost.
And also to use the article to basically bring it before the
Yeah.
people for conversation.
And if they say no,
Then it remains as is, right?
Yeah.
Because the line items have it budgeted already in the budget.
Yeah, it hasn't been taken out of the budget.
I think that this is one thing that really should go. You can in the budgetary process up the cost of the bags. I don't think people are worried too much about 50 cents for a bag. But they are already paying taxes for this transfer station. Regardless of how much it is, it's pennies on the dollar. If we were talking about $500,000 or 200,000, 300, 400,000, that's a significant conversation. $100 for these hang tags are only going to serve to aggravate people. And you're asking for a significant amount of money with $500,000 and $77,000 and so forth. To have this thing stick up there, I mean, you're inviting an argument, not a discussion, and you're not benefiting that much. I mean, if you want to raise the cost of the bags, fine, raise them 50 cents. It isn't going to bring in to cover it, but it was never a money-making or even break-in proposition when it started.
Well, 20 years ago, the tokens basically paid for 80% of the whole transfer station, and that.
Well, it ain't been that way in the last 15.
Well,
There it is something for a broader discussion. But at this time, if you want the other money, don't argue with them. Don't create an argument over, what turns into nothing. It's a tax. It's a basically tax upon tax that isn't going.
half the town is using their own private dumpsters, so we're charging them tax on something they don't use at all.
Look at the school system.
Yes.
When was the last time you had a kid in school?
Yeah.
Are you paying for it right now?
Yeah, but that doesn't mean that I have to agree with what you're saying either, so I don't know how we should.
Leave it in. And what will happen is you're going to have to fight your battles, and this will just make people aggravated. Why aggravate them when you got this kind of money?
Shall we discuss it further on Monday?
That is when we will have to finalize
Right.
the warning.
Okay, so
Are the budget numbers that we are working off of currently incorporating that $100 hang tag?
No,
no, because that's an article that we don't know if
Right.
it'll pass or not. And then if it did pass, then we could change the main budget.
How many people do we estimate use the transfer station? Like if we have 600
we based the
households.
numbers, we based it on 400
On
400 households out of 9 and change, right?
Mm-hmm.
900 and change.
We've done a lot of work with this, and the committee met diligently and were very detailed. So, okay, so we are up to acknowledge the signing of the Act 250 Impact Questionnaire.
Yeah, that it was already
Just
signed.
that I already signed this, we met with Andrea, we had her change some of her answers, and
She met with Glenn Beatty.
she met with the fire department, and we got it so that it was palatable with everybody. So, then
This is to authorize you to sign this, and Katie can explain it.
Oh, yeah.
the
I'm
Vermont
writing
Historic
something.
Preservation Grant signature for town hall roof repair.
Okay, so I want to announce the great news, excellent news, and very exciting that we were awarded, or in the process of, we were chosen for the 2025 Historic Preservation Grant to fix the slate roof. 56 slates on the roof will be either repositioned, repaired, or replaced. We worked really hard with the Planning Commission to talk about this building and go through every single aspect of the structure and all of the needs of this building in that application process. So it was really more than just looking at the slate roof. We looked at the whole building as part of the application process, which I thought was a really valuable thing and something that feels like a door that opens within this search for all of these grants and everything that we've been trying to do. It's like it benefits us in so many ways, and we're seeing that here. So anyway, they let us know right after Christmas or right before Christmas that we were receiving this grant for, I believe it's around $12,000.
It is almost 13, but
Almost
12 and change.
$12,947, something like that. And we need to have Ally sign our acknowledgement form. What's really great is that we had a meeting with the person that administers these grants from the state preservation department, and we were told basically that we're ahead of the game. We already have a contractor, we already have insurance, we have all of the things that we need. They're going to be able to, hopefully, as long as these things go in the right direction, escalate the project, and we'll get our roof fixed sooner than later instead of waiting all the way through the summer or something like that. So that's the trajectory that we have. So maybe you should make the motion. I don't know if I should, because I'm acting as grant
I would
coordinator.
like to make a motion to authorize Ally Evans as chair on behalf of the board to sign the Vermont State Historic Preservation Grant
Second.
acknowledgement form.
Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
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 Are you
I think I'm abstaining because
okay, so we've got three.
Grant coordinator. Super exciting.
It's fun to see your learning curve happening, isn't it?
it is, yeah.
So, VTrans certificate of mileage. This over here says that we have a total of 62.857 miles. Jeremy, do you have anything to say about this?
No, sounds right.
My understanding, every year, we have to verify with VTrans that there is no change or there is changes to our mileage to, I think, stay in the program, which gets us grants.
Nothing's
Right.
changed.
So this would be, my understanding, not really knowing a lot about this, is we kind of don't do anything because there's been no changes and the select board signs, to the
Okay,
best of my knowledge.
Yeah, you're just certifying that we haven't lost any roads or added any roads. That's all you're doing.
okay, and where would I sign that?
Do we need a motion to authorize?
I think so.
I'd like to make a motion to
I
authorize.
think all of you have to sign it.
Signatures,
So do
selectmen.
we not need a motion then?
Wait, no, you need
I guess we still need to move to.
yeah, to sign it, I guess.
Okay, so I'd like to make a motion to have the members of the select board sign the certificate of highway mileage year ending February 2025.
Second.
Excellent.
All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Okay, number 10.2 is, we just did that.
So
And
now we have, I think, the addition, which is.
Town hall use request.
the town hall use request by a lady named Eileen Rogers for an interactive workshop, Living, Laughing, Loving. And it's from 2/22 from 7 a.m. to 5:30 p.m. And at the bottom, she tells us she's planning on charging a small fee to be determined in the next couple of days. I'm planning on offering lunch as part of the fee, so as of now, just the downstairs and kitchen. I can bring you all support materials end of week. Now, what does all support materials?
Certificate of insurance.
Insurance?
Oh, okay. I'd like to make a motion to approve REST 2025 Interactive Workshop Living, Laughing, Loving to take place on February 22nd, 2025 from 7 to 5:30. I will not be waiving the fee since she's charging for attendance,
And is this only for downstairs?
using only the downstairs and the kitchen. Authorizing Ally Evans to sign on behalf of the board, but pending her certificate of insurance.
Second.
And what is that fee, do we know? For just downstairs?
It's noted, I believe the town clerk might know.
Town clerk. I
It's in our policy, I don't have the policy in front of me.
Yes. it's
Okay.
somewhere.
I will sign it then.
We haven't voted.
I know. But you will.
Need to discussion.
Discussion?
So, are we confident that we're getting like the certificate of insurance and everything? Like those pieces were specified because it just says supporting materials. All that's coming.
Yeah, I think Elenka has talked with her that and Alenka has requested that we do it contingent on receiving the
Okay.
certificate.
And that was part of your
That was part of
motion.
And that was part of
And
it.
do we know her? Like, is she good for it?
Is she a resident?
She is a resident.
Okay.
She bought a house that we know the prior owners, and she's known, but I don't know her.
Okay.
And yeah, the only part I feel a little open-ended about is what is the fee, but we'll find that out.
Well, I guess that we can't collect any more on top of whatever she, whatever we have in our policy.
That's your policy.
Our policy is set to expire.
Already.
Yeah, we were supposed to readdress it.
In November, I think.
Yeah.
Okay.
And right after budgets, that's one of the things we're gonna get right on.
Okay, should
One
I
of the
amend
100 things.
it to say the fee that we have in our?
And the current stated policy, not the draft policy that we're working off of.
I would say the draft policy, because that's what you've been working off of for the last 6 months,
Mhm.
was the policy that you guys were gonna use for 6 months and then reevaluate.
Okay, I'll amend my motion to just clarify that the fee that will be charged is the fee as stated in our draft policy that we had passed on a trial period that we have not updated yet.
Second.
Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Hold on 1 second. There's a message in the chat from Sean. What about cleanup?
I don't think the policy addresses that really, or that says they are
The-
supposed to.
The policy
clean up.
addresses that the person
Has to clean it up.
has to clean it up, yeah.
And just to make a note, it is requested from 7 to 5:30, but the event is from 8:30 to 4:30. So
Yeah.
there's an hour before and after, presumably for cleanup and setup.
Okay, we move on to regularly, did we get a vote on that?
No.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, then should we talk about the Monday meeting first and then state the next regularly scheduled meeting?
I think we've already.
We've already talked about it, done.
I'll warn it
Okay.
tomorrow.
Okay, and we're gonna have our next regularly scheduled meeting Tuesday, the 28th at 6 PM.
Motion to adjourn, I guess.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Are you making a motion?
I made the motion. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Okay, let's remember to sign the warrants, guys. Okay, we're adjourned
Aye.
at
So sure, we will,
7:15.
I'll keep trying to send